Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. This week we are talking about prospecting, which is a major component of the sales representative's position. In this task, they are essentially going out and finding new partnerships to work with and looking at ways of growing their territory. So, looking at the things you need to know for this week, starting with number 1. Prospecting is essentially developing new ways of distribution for that manufacturer. And this could be new retail partnerships, it could be new club partnerships. It's basically anything that allows that manufacturer to grow their distribution. Number 2, historically speaking, consumers are going to spend more on snow sports gear as their disposable income rises, right? So as you think about a country going through a recession or downturn in the economy, the sales of ski or snowboard gear tends to slow down as we start to see a rise in the economy. That sale figure is going to start to grow. This is obviously dependent also on things like snow, variability in conditions, those kinds of things. But generally speaking, as consumers' income rises, their ability to spend on snow sport gear rises with that. Number 3, when you think about new products, there's essentially what we call market pulls or market pushes. A market pull is when the shop employee or the end consumer is demanding a product from a manufacturer. This could be essentially a tweak on a current product or a totally new product that a shop employee or an end consumer suggests to that manufacturer that is needed in the marketplace. Number 4, conversely, if a manufacturer decides to go in a new direction without really getting any input from the industry, that's known as a market push. They're pushing their idea out into the industry and hoping that it succeeds. Number 5, when a manufacturer rep is evaluating a territory, they're going to look at a couple different criteria to see if it's going to be a good partnership for that manufacturer. They'll want to know what the resort is like, so what are the clientele, what is essentially the dollar amount being spent at that resort, what's the infrastructure look like, is it growing, is it declining, is there easy ways to get in and out of different shops, what's the competition in that area, so are they currently well represented or are they underrepresented in that area? And these are all going to be factors in whether a shop is going to be open for that manufacturer or if they're going to decide to just stick with their current partnerships. Number 7, globally speaking, Europe is the biggest market for the snow sports industry, and that's essentially because most of the skiing and snowboarding participants reside in that area. It's roughly 2/3 of the marketplace. Number 8, margin. Margin refers to the retailer's income from selling a product. So essentially, if I sell a product at a 50% markup, that's going to be the margin that I'm going to get from selling that particular ski or snowboard product or accessory. Number 9, as a manufacturer rep looks at partnering with a particular retail shop, they're going to look at historical numbers. So essentially, what does that ski or resort generate in terms of total income? What is the competition doing in that area? Is there better representation from other brands compared to their own brand? What types of sales goals can be set for the given year? So thinking about units and volume, how much can this new retailer bring to that manufacturer in terms of both units and volume, and looking at the big picture of how does this help that manufacturer in terms of distribution. Number 10, as part of this criteria of evaluating a retailer, there's what's called open to buy. And an open to buy is how much that retailer has to spend on new products. So this essentially dictates how much new product they're going to buy from that given manufacturer. This is going to fluctuate with years, so a better snow year and better sales, they're going to have more money in the open to buy. In weaker seasons, they're probably going to have less, and that will affect how much that manufacturer can expect that retailer to order from them. Number 12, as manufacturer reps start to qualify new retailers, they're going to start to look at whether this retailer can pay their bills, right? So do they have good credit history? Are they in strong standing with other manufacturers out there? So they're paying their bills on time, they're essentially a good partnership. They're also looking at, is this an actual need for the shop? So if you think about it from your manufacturing standpoint, you want to have your product represented in the best possible light. If this store is just adding your product as a me too situation where it's just adding something else in but doesn't really need it because it's covered by other brands, this may not be the best fit. And 3, can you actually count on this manufacturer retail partnership to present your product in the best possible manner. Number 13, following up on a trade show, a sales rep is going to be following up with those retailers that they met with and start to create orders. So looking at the upcoming ski, snowboard season, a rep's going to work with those retailers to generate what those orders are going to look like for the upcoming year and how many units they're going to need at what different price points. And that's their full focus going from, say, the start of January till about the beginning of April. Number 15, when you think about the worth or the value of attending a trade show, it's important to create a measurable or a way of tracking how your time was spent. Oftentimes, manufacturers will track the number of people coming into their booth, so they can do that using scanners. They'll actually scan the person's badge, and this will create a count. It also gives them information about that person that's entered their booth as far as where they're from, what shop they work for, those kinds of things. So it's a way of tracking the value or the effort that they've put into that trade show to make sure that they're getting a good return on that investment. Number 16. As part of what you do as a manufacturer rep at a trade show, first and foremost, you're obviously trying to grow your manufacturing representation in terms of distribution, so working with new retail partners, trying to grow that side of it. You're also going to be working with the media side, so working with websites, blogs, social media outlets that are going to help promote your product in a positive light.